Hello and welcome, everyone. I am so happy you're here. I'm so happy I get to go through this again. Again, we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we are going to just push through, go through this all over again. I'm so happy to be able to share this with you. And we're going to jump right into it. So this week's consciousness is tapping into miracles, the light of Hanukkah for Christians. And I know that you may be jumping directly into this thought here, which is, well, we'll come back to that. In fact, is this guy trying to get us to move towards Messianic Judaism? Which is, I suppose, a fair question, right? But the answer is absolutely not. Absolutely not. Instead, the Christian Kabbalah channel, we are suggesting that you bolster your current Christian faith with the tools of Kabbalah. Kabbalah is clear that you are able to remain, and you should remain, on your Christian path, walking and using the tools of, in this case, tools of Hanukkah, but all of the Kabbalistic tools to draw closer and closer to Jesus. Okay? Kabbalah is simply a spiritual set of rules and principles that are here to help you draw closer and closer to God. Kabbalah teaches us that Kabbalah was given to us by the Creator as a way to accelerate our spiritual growth and a way for us to continually draw nearer to God. So with that said, my friends, let's look into what this particular live stream is going to be. Here is our agenda. We are going to be spending a good 20 minutes or so, maybe talking about why it is relevant for a Christian to access the light of Hanukkah. And then we're going to be jumping into a Zohar reading as well. Now, I understand that there might be some terms and some ideas that you may not be familiar with. And as a result, we have created this video here that gives some background information about what some of these terms mean. So if you are unfamiliar or want some more information, or maybe some of the things that we are saying do not make a whole lot of sense to you, I encourage you to access this video. It's a short 3-minute video that will give you some background information. All right. So, with all of that said, let's get into Hanukkah and why it's relevant to a Christian. Because it's supposedly not, right? Christians have Christmas, Jews have Hanukkah, and Christians aren't supposed to be celebrating Hanukkah. Well, that's true if you are looking at it from a religious standpoint. But according to Kabbalah, Hanukkah is a spiritual tool. It's not a religious holiday. It is not a religious observance. It gives us the ability to live a life where miracles are the norm. Yes, miracles, according to Kabbalah, as we will be discussing, should be the norm. But as we know, sadly, they are not. So let's talk about some things. We have 3 points that we're going to go over today. And the first of which is simple, that according to the Kabbalah, the Hanukkah is a cosmic window in time. What is that supposed to mean? A cosmic window in time? That sounds too far out there. Well, I'm glad you asked. So the truth is, though, is that all of us are already familiar with windows in time. And the best example that I could think of is a sale, right? A shopping sale, right? Let's say you wanted to buy a TV, right? Well, we know that there's good times to buy a TV, and then there's more expensive times to buy a TV, right? And it just so happens that right now, between Thanksgiving and New Year's, this is the very best time of the year, for the very most part, to get things at a discount, right? The window in time opens at maybe the week of Thanksgiving, and that closes maybe the week after New Year's. And so if you want to buy a TV, this is the best time to buy a TV. And maybe even the week of Black Friday or whatever is the very, very best time. But let's say you have an amazing TV and then God forbid something happens and it breaks. It happens and it breaks the third week in January. Well, at that time, my friends, you are out of luck. And you have to either bite the bullet and buy an expensive TV or wait the long wait towards towards another window in time when prices are lower. These are also known as sales, right? This is nothing new to us. Well, sales are an example of a physical window in time. But Kabbalah's calendar details spiritual or energetic windows in time. And Hanukkah is a specific 8-day window in time where we are able to we're able to tap into a very special energy. And this is the one time of the year that this energy is so available. It's so available. All right, so number 2. During the 8 days of Hanukkah, as you can see, a very special and unique energy is available to all who are aware. So let's look a little bit more about what this energy is. Well, first of all, as maybe you have heard before, that it is the light of miracles. In Hebrew, this is also called the Organus, okay? And that simply translates to the hidden light. So in some way, this idea of the hidden light is tied to the light of miracles. And this, according to Kabbalah, is why the 8-day window of Hanukkah is so special. So what is the hidden light and what does it have to do with miracles? Well, we have to ask ourselves, okay? We first have to ask ourselves, why do we get so excited when a miracle occurs? Have you ever had a true miracle occur? Something that was such an overwhelming blessing that probably should not have happened and yet it did anyway? We get so excited. We share miracle stories. But the reason why we get so excited about it is sadly because they don't occur to us very often. All right? We know this, right? We would love it, right? That if everyday life was just filled with miracles. Well, according to Kabbalah, humans should be so connected to God that miracles should be normal. In fact, the writings of the Kabbalists tell us that they should be so normal that we should not even get excited when they occur because this life should already be filled with miracles. But it is our current spiritual state that causes us or that prevents us, that prevents us from truly seeing miracles, right? What is our current, for most of us at least, what is our current spiritual state? Well, we go through our day. There are moments where there are good moments, there are bad moments, right? There are moments that are filled with light, and then there are the moments of darkness, right? But Kabbalah is clear. Kabbalah is clear. It is our own spiritual state, our own individual consciousness that determines whether something is light or dark. Based upon where you are currently at is how you view the world. And based upon where I am currently at is how I currently view the world. But Kabbalah is clear that if we decide to change and grow and expand our consciousness, we will then change and expand our interpretation of everything that happens to us. And why is this important? Because Kabbalah teaches that in true reality, if we viewed this world in the same way that the light views the world, everything that happens to us is light. Everything that happens to us is from God. Everything that happens to us is for our benefit. And it's clear, because everything is from God, despite how we interpret it, everything is truly a gift and for our benefit, and especially the dark moments. Especially the dark moments. You saw that right. Now, that's a huge statement, I realize, but I can prove it to you. Because I am sure that if you think back on your life, right, there have been things that have happened to you that at the time you thought were terrible. You thought they were the worst thing that could have possibly happened. You thought that, that they were moments of pure negativity. But then time passes, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, maybe 15 years. You get through it, you overcome it, you move on from it. And then what happens? You can look back and you say, whoa, not only was that not a blessing, or not only was that not a curse, not only was that not darkness, it gave me so many blessings. How can that be? How can the things that we interpret as being true darkness give us the greatest gifts? And I can tell you for certain, the darkest moment of my life gave me the truest blessings of my life. If you haven't yet checked out my spiritual evolution stories, which are on my channel, check them out. And I have detailed the darkest moment of my life and how it gave me the greatest gifts. And this is proof that we don't always interpret this world in the way that they truly are. Yes, we can see that there's darkness, but that may be not a true indication of what is really happening. So now let's return to the hidden light of Hanukkah. Okay? The hidden light of Hanukkah is the light of our spiritual potential. It is our spiritual maturity that already knows that everything is from the light. So according to Kabbalah, the things that we already interpret as being light are already within us, right? But the moments that we see that are negative, the reason why we do not yet have the ability to interpret those things as they truly are, which are even greater blessings, is because we're not yet there. But the light of Hanukkah, the hidden light, our spiritual potential is available to us to tap into during the 8 days of Hanukkah. And this gives us the ability to experience miracles as the norm. And the reason why that is because in reality, they already are the norm. We just perceive it to be different. Our vessels are not yet to the point where we're able to perceive this world as it truly is. But the gift of Hanukkah is that it gives us the ability to expand our spiritual growth and to truly see reality as it is. We're able to have a greater insight to moments of darkness and understand that they're our greatest gifts. So now let's talk about how to access it. Okay? You can see, all we need to do is light a candle. It sounds so simple. And it really is. But before we can say, or before we can just jump to something that's so simple, let's first talk about Genesis 4:1, as you can see on the screen. According to Kabbalah, this is such a monumental verse, and it's simple, right? You can see it. Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived, and she bare Cain. What is this verse telling us? It is connecting this idea of sex with the idea of knowing, right? What is it really telling us? It's saying that Adam had sex with Eve, and she conceived and bare Cain. And yet, the verse is using the word know or knew to insinuate this deep connection. Well, what is sex? Sex is the deepest connection that we have with another human being. Okay? And so this idea of knowing, according to the Kabbalah, from this verse, equates us with connection. Deep connection on spiritual matters is through knowing. It's through our own consciousness. Knowing or consciousness is the true connection for spiritual matters. And so, to access the hidden light of Chanukah, you need to know what you're doing. To access the light of miracles, you need to know what's available. And then, as it says, you simply light a candle. But you understand that the knowing is the most important part. So I'm sure that there are going to be thousands, if not millions of people during the 8 days of Chanukah who might light a candle. They might light a candle and they might be totally unaware of the light that's available of Chanukah. Does this mean simply by lighting a candle that they'll be able to access the Oreganus, the hidden light? The answer is absolutely not. Just like we learned in this idea of Adam knew Eve. We must know what we're doing. And it's through the knowing that we're then able to tap into the hidden light. Are you aware? So on the same note, are you aware that right now in the room that you are sitting in, there are many different frequencies of radio waves? There's frequencies of music happening right now. Do we hear the music? Right now in this room that I'm in, there's plenty of radio waves that are traveling through this, but we can't hear the waves, or we can't hear the music. The reason why we can't hear the music is because we need a receiver to do that, right? An antenna or a radio or something. A particular tool is needed to capture those radio waves. And if we have that particular tool, if we have a radio or an antenna or something, then we can listen to the music. The same is true with the light that is available during the 8-day window of Chanukah, right? It's available for everyone. All of humanity has the potential to use the energy of Chanukah. But in the same way that right now, you might not be able to hear any music because you don't have the right receiver, you don't have an antenna or a radio turned on. The same is true with Chanukah. You must know about it, and you must light a candle. That simple action of lighting a candle gives you the ability to then tap into your spiritual potential by downloading or accessing the hidden light, the light of miracles. You must know what you're doing, and you must light a candle. So I did not really want to talk or get into further details about sort of the details of how to light a menorah. There's plenty of resources online that tells how to do that. But I wanted to keep it relevant to this idea to the ideas that we've already been talking about. So I will post certain links in the description box that give you the ability to access Chanukah. I will also leave links of meditation booklets or booklets that give you the right meditations to access the Oreganus according to Kabbalah. But I'm not going to spend any more time with those details. You can easily find that information elsewhere. Please check the description box after I'm done with this particular live stream. And we're going to now jump to the Zohar reading for this week. Now, it may make no sense to you that we're about to read in Hebrew or in Aramaic. That may make no sense to you. So if you are experiencing this idea of the Zohar reading for the first time, please access this video. Again, the link to this is also in the description box below, and it will give you a lot of information about what the Zohar is, why it's helpful for Christians, and why it can help you undoubtedly draw closer and closer to Jesus why it can help you with your own spiritual walk. And you can see here, to help us tap into the light of Hanukkah, or the energy of Hanukkah, we are going to be reading from volume number 6. The portion is called Meketz, and we're going to be reading chapter 7, which expounds upon the verse from the Old Testament, and Joseph was the governor of the land. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into the Zohar reading for this week. You can see it right here. Again, you are always free to access the Zohar whenever you would like at thezohar.com, which is where we're getting this from. We're not going to be reading the synopsis for this, but we will read the relevance. It says, you can see right here, Egypt is a metaphor for the human ego. Our evil inclination, which is rooted in the left column, strength and discipline to triumph over egocentric desires and evil tendencies are summoned forth in our souls as we scan the Hebrew letters of this passage. All right, so let's get started here. Just need to do one thing. I'm doing this here. Yeah. All right, so we're going to do this and do this. All right, so here we go. So we're starting here in verse 106. Again, we want to tap, the reason why we're doing this is to tap into our spiritual potential. We want to ask God, the light, Jesus, to help our spiritual growth, and we want to do that through the free gift of Hanukkah, which is going to be available starting in about a week. Verse number 106. We're going to be reading 7 of these shorter verses today in Aramaic, tapping into, according to Kabbalah, the greatest energy that exists, which is the energy of the Zohar. If you have friends or relatives that need healing light, you might want to keep them in mind as we start our reading. Verse 106. Ve'yosefchu v'hashalit al ha'aretz v'go. Rabbi Yesa petach ve'amar ve'ata yarum roshi al ovai savovotai. Ve'ezbecha be'ahalo zivchei trua ashira ve'azmara lashem. Tachezekad kuchabrechu itre batarnash zakef le akol banei alma. Ve'avid le resha dechola v'kuchu shanoi da'it kafian tachutoi. Verse number 107. David Malkash Shanu. Le achoi dechol le minaichu kuchabrichu arem le akol banei ma. Ata chamoi arak mikame kuchabrechu arem le akol malchute ve'kuchu havo karian ve'sagdin kame ve'yosef dachu le achoi davar kuchu karau usgidu kame hahu dikti vayavo ache Yosef va'ishtachavu lo apaim arza. Verse number 108. Davar acher ve'ata yarum rashi mai ve'ata kamo ve'ata Rabbi Yehuda amar ha itmar et deuhu dargad alma uman ichud hahu et da he aleph vaikre ata ve'ata da ichud uve dine. Verse 109. Yarum Rashi le arama la bikara umachuta al oivai savavotai elen she'ar malchei ara ve'azbecha ve'ahalo da Yerushalayim be'ahalo da ohel moed zivchei trua le mishma kol alma asira ve'azmara me'ahu sitra de trua hi deha mitaman hahu sitra de trua hi atia shira te ve'tushbachata. Davar acher ve'ata yarum roshi. This is 110. Da Knesset Israel a ovai savotai da esav dachal אפרחין דילה, ועזבך באהלו אלן ישראל זבחי תרועה, דכתיב זבחי אלוקים, רוחה נשברה, בגין דינה מעלמה אסירה ואזמרה, להודעה ולשבחה, לקודשה ברכו בלה, פסיקו לעולם. Verse 111, again we're going to 113. דבר אחר ואתה ירום ראשי, וכלה יצר טוב על יצר רע. דכתיב על אובי, סבבותי דה יצר הרע, דכו סחרנה דבר נש. וכו שנאה, וכלה ואזבחה באהלו, זבחי תרועה, דה אורייתא, להית יהבת מסתרה דעשה, כדכתיב ממנו, אש דת למו, דחה בגין אורייתא ירום רשע, דהתברו, כל שנוי קדמה כדכתיב, תחריה קמא תחותי. דבר אחר, ואתה ירום ראשי, להית כללה באהבחן, דחה דוד מכה, אית להית דבקה, באהבחן וקטן, יתרומם דסליק לילה, ואיכו בחד קישורה בכו, על אובי, סבבותי אלני נון דוויסתר, שמאלה כוחו מראה דינין, דמתכונין לקבלה, וקטן שימשה דהתחבר, מסכרה דהווה כל אחד. And the last verse for tonight, verse number 13. Excuse me. תחזה כתיב ויוסף השליט על הארץ דה שימשה דשליט בסכרה ונחר לה וזן לה. הוא המשביר לכל עם הארץ דחו נחר ונגד דנפק מיני דאית כוחו ומתאמן פרחין נשמתין לחולה ובגינדה כוחו סגדין לגבי דהו אתר דה לת לך מילה בעלמה דלה תלה במזלה ויוקמוה. So, my friends, that concludes our presentation for today. I wanted to make sure that you're aware of my email address. If you have any questions, you want any further information, please feel free to reach out. I am a resource for you. Do not hesitate. Please like, subscribe, share this if it helps you. And again, thank you for your participation. I'm so happy that you were part of this. I love you all. See you guys all in the next broadcast. Have a great day, everyone.